OT.TV.
Wow. Okay. You're fucking awesome, man. Those backhand breaks of yours, take a few more of those on. Got those nice hang shots to the end zone. So good.
Welcome back to OTTV's coverage of Glastonbury Tournament here on a beautiful Somerset Sunday morning. The sun is shining and we've got quarter-final action as Surrey take on Exeter City Ultimate. This is the third time we've streamed Exeter this weekend.
And as I've been saying, they are my dark horse pick to go for that deep run to the final. They've gotten better in each performance. Great lineup. We really should have learned more of their names by now, I think.
Here's the thing, I don't disagree with you, but every time you call them the dark horse, that Katy Perry song just gets in my head.
I mean, that's not a bad thing to have stuck in your head.
Katy,
how do you feel about Katy Perry? Because she can be a little Marmite.
Yeah, I love Katy Perry. I think she's great.
I love her too.
Yeah.
I might be speaking out of my arse there saying she's Marmite. A lot of people love Katy Perry. She's great woman.
Her Super halftime show was phenomenal. Not just because it gave us Left Shark, it was just an excellent show.
I think mostly because it gave us Left Shark.
Sorry?
I think mostly because it gave us Left Shark. I'm a big fan of that guy.
Did not hurt.
That person, anyway. Best Super Bowl halftime show of all time? Obviously, there's only one answer.
Well, it's Prince, Purple Rain in the Rain.
Always Prince, Purple Rain in the Rain. Has to be. If you've never watched that, please go look it up after you've watched some top quality Ultimate.
Only ever wet weather Super Bowl and the Colts won, so what more can you ask for? It's perfect. On this sideline, pivot off into the middle, well collected. Getting down really low for almost that Japanese style, that release from right on the floor, but it bounces in and out of the hands.
It was a bit too hot.
And Exeter City Yellow, Tim's going to blade it deep, and there's no one there.
You respect the shot, but, yeah, nobody there.
You just need to pick your moments a little bit.
Bit too hot there from Goldilocks.
You like that nickname, don't you?
I really do, yeah. His missus told it to us yesterday.
he was maybe on course for a show game MVP performance, and then he pulled it out of bounds, and I've got standards.
You have to have standards. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
Here come Exeter. We're still looking to make that break and get the first shot.
Second opportunity on this point. Fakes the swing, looking underneath. Nice little break there. Fakes the hammer.
Lovely hammer fake. Gets the up call and all.
And with the height as well, you know, it's going to be, if they want to throw the hammer, it's going to be difficult to stop. Oh, that's floating a little bit. Chased down inbounds and dished into the end zone. Exeter City break on the game's first point. They've taken a 1-0 lead.
Really nice recovery from Goldilocks. So difficult when you let that disc go over your head, but he managed to just have enough space left and great feet for the finish. 1-0.
We're trying to use the breaks to desperately shovel food into our mouth.
Yeah, we're very sorry about that. It's
from a popular fast food restaurant.
It's so
that does
good.
excellent breakfast.
It's so bad for us, but it's so good.
No, it's good for you.
I mean, it's certainly making me feel better.
It's good for the stream because otherwise we wouldn't have the energy to commentate.
Exactly. And like, put up with a little few chewing sounds. Lord knows we chew the scenery enough.
Hey.
And
isn't it fun just to sit down and chew the fat, you know?
It is. It really is.
A lot of fat in my case. Honestly, the Mac line yesterday was painful.
It was painful because Bristol fucking dominated it.
Well, it was painful for me, because I was in that infernal rocket raccoon costume.
I forgot about that. Wearing the mask as well.
I've got to commit to the bit.
Well, you're giving away your secret identity now. You kept it so secure all day yesterday. Nobody knew who you were. I was listening on the sideline going, Matt, so many people are like, man, I feel sorry for that rocket raccoon fella.
It's like it's as if it wasn't just me going into the tent and getting a costume. It's not like I even tried to hide it particularly. And it's also the first time I've done any sort of jumping since I had an operation earlier this year, and it's like, yikes.
So now we see Surrey working it down the field. That was a very clean structure they went with. Lots of sit on that, so it works out for them and beautifully towed. Great score, great response.
That's lovely, actually. Just a perfectly weighted, feathered flick. Towed in at the front cone. Beautiful stuff from Surrey. That's much better after a slightly turn-heavy 0 point from them first up, and we're now knotted up at 1 apiece. So, you know, a nice tight quarterfinal. Yep. After we've had a bit of a blowout in the first game, I would like to see it.
Yeah, and if there's one thing Exeter would like to do, it's give us exciting games on the show pitch.
Right, they really pushed Shakedown yesterday. They thoroughly earned the second spot in the pool, and then they pulled the upset. They were, I mean, they pulled, I was going to say they pulled the plug on Drainage, really. The Bath alumni, which again, good. I appreciate the wordplay that's gone in there. Very good. And now another graduate team here in the form of the Surrey Scorpions.
Do you know what their pun name is?
No, they're just the so back when I started at uni, Surrey were Surrey Scorpions, and then they were made to come in line with the rest of the uni's team, and they just became Team Surrey, which is, with all due respect to everyone from Surrey who might be listening or watching this back on demand, is an awful name, Team Surrey Ultimate. It's rubbish. It's got no character whatsoever, and I think that's why we, when they come to fun tournaments, it's like, oh yeah, we're Scorpions, because that was actually cool. Well, I mean, more cool than TSU at least. Team Surrey Ultimate. Honestly, suppress everything that makes us individual as a club. We love it.
They tried to do that to the University of Limerick team because they were ninjas to Vikings, and it can be a battle. It's something students or colleges like to do, uniform branding. As we see Exeter, anything but uniform in their play through this tournament so far, but looking more and more regimented as they go from game to game.
Nice reset, isolating there. And just off.
Beautiful
Low break. Tell you what, Exeter have got something cooking over the top, and just agonizingly out of reach. Not a bad shot, that, I think, Lorcan.
No, fantastic shot. I think what happened there was it came out at a speed the receiver wasn't quite ready for, and you could see him struggle to gather his feet quick enough to get up in time.
Didn't have quite enough space and time to get the acceleration to that needed top speed.
It's one of those things where you're sprinting and you get the jump slightly wrong, so instead of soaring up into the air, you just kind of glide forwards.
Trying to look at the IO break, but it's not there. Now turns, try to find the reset. Pick downfield.
Would you say this Team Surrey side, they've had a good tournament so far. They are coming in, this is the 4th seed, which isn't to be overlooked.
Top their pool, won their crossover.
Yep. Looking confident, took care of business yesterday. So now we get to see what they're like when they're under just a little bit of pressure, a little bit of pushback. Find out just how much of a sting is in their tail.
This is what's nice about the fun tournaments. On the Saturday you're in a big pool and you might not necessarily have that many close games, but on the Sunday theoretically you're playing teams in the same bracket, that are around the same level as you are.
So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
So yeah, you should get closer, kind of more intense games if you can just find that energy on the day after the party. Tim's underneath it and he gets a big Mac out the back of the end zone. I like the waiting on the end zone line just in case, although Tim, I think, was following it up as well.
I feel like Tim lost position and then regained it really well. I thought that was going to be Team Surrey. The throws they have, they're showing their experience. Beautiful breaks, nice composure, but ultimately a great athletic play by Exeter. But conservation! And throws it behind on the break.
Put the mockers on him. The old commentator's curse. Which is not a real thing, by the way. Stop saying, look, it's not my fault that you get it wrong precisely the moment that we praise you, all right? Because you're not listening to us on the pitch.
It's a contentious moment, and that is the kind of spike I love. I know a lot of people
just put it down
about it.
Off you go.
It's just the catch and drop.
And speaking of mixed feelings, if you go back through the Ulti TV YouTube channel, you can find the various mixed feelings highlights we put out earlier this year of some of the best mixed games that Ulti TV have covered over the past few years.
There's been a lot of top quality Ultimate played in front of our cameras, and one of the things in the past has been quite difficult is when it's all just all over the place. Where can you find those old games? Some are on YouTube, they're all on channels of varying levels of activity. They're across some of the other hosting sites, or maybe they're behind paywalls, and that's something that UltiTV is trying to correct, trying to change a little bit through the Patreons, through the free YouTube channel, to just get more coverage out there and help grow the sport. If you think you could help us do that too, please look into the Patreon. If you just want to see some great Ultimate down through the years, please look into the YouTube channel.
You can find us, all the details, at ulti.tv. And there we are, that's our first Patreon plug of the weekend. Well done.
First Patreon plug of the Sunday.
Did you do one yesterday?
I did none of them were that good. I did a couple of casual ones.
Ah, I see, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really focus on it too much.
No, we need to like the real pointed, play the trailer,
yes.
Give us the money thing.
And just imagine Mike down in Australia being like, yeah.
I mean, I can imagine him doing that, but with a lot more Australian, by which I mean
Australian.
Sweary. A lot more sweary.
Oh, well, we can't be doing that on the stream right now. We also can't mention certain methods of cleanliness either, apparently, in Australia.
No, I've heard that.
That's very strange.
Hey, sometimes you do need to mop your brow.
Sometimes you do need to wipe your ass, and toilet paper just isn't cutting it.
Just going to leave that there. Exeter City working underneath, trying to find the undergame working.
Oh, that's some great faking and then getting free.
There was just
get the pass off.
There wasn't the there wasn't the timing where the fake was coming into the field as the cut was coming towards the open side. And if that timing's a little bit better, that cut can maybe get thrown to. Also playing in half a party costume. I have respect for that.
Big shot to the end zone. I've got respect for that.
I think it's going to go out the back. Yeah.
Still, that's the kind of plays that you love to see.
Hey, you know what? Put on a little bit of a spectacle for the fans at home. The many fans at home. That is a tasty, tasty flick deep. Trying to shepherd it out all the way out of the end zone, and he almost got in round the back and had the greatest attempt.
I think he might be calling a foul on that.
I think he is calling a foul.
In fairness, he worked his ass off to get into position, and that defender at any point could have just gone, no.
He just tried to shepherd it out when, yeah, a bit more casual than he needed to be, and maybe caused this team a little bit of consternation, perhaps.
That's just hunger.
Hunger and getting a play out of it, which is fantastic.
Yeah, you know, left the door slightly ajar, and he's tried to muscle his way through it.
When is a door not a door?
When it's ajar.
We have fun.
What's your favourite, like, one-liner joke?
Oh, it requires acting out.
Oh. Mine is, how do you turn a duck into a soul singer?
I don't know. How do you turn a duck into a soul singer?
You put it in the oven until it's Bill Withers. You don't hate it, do you?
I don't. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's
Hello.
good.
The fresh pot of coffee Vez has indeed brewed. And, oh, it's going back. It's going back. Hang on. We need
Now
to do the
that
thing.
is just hustle.
Glasto rules. Do it again.
You got to do it again, Glasto rules.
All right, we'll see if they do it again. I hope so.
Actually, now that I think about it, my second favorite joke that's a one-liner that, you know, you don't have to act out, I'll tell you later, as we hope for another Glasto rules deep shot. He's not doing it. Oh, we might have to. Should have. That's what he gets. Disc don't lie. Every single time we call Glasto rules, they haven't done it. It's been a turnover.
Exactly. People need to learn the rules. Actually, to be fair, I don't think it's officially codified in the rules. We just shouted at people and hope
That's
that
about as codified as any rules at Glasto get.
pretty much.
Surrey trying to get back into the centre. Or down the line.
There, oh, that was an opportunity missed there, and he knows it. He knows it.
Favorite one-liner joke. My uncle used to say this at me all the time. It used to annoy me when I was a kid. Two ducks flying over Belfast. One says quack, quack. Other one says, can't go any quacker. It's a good joke. Jam with a flick that arcs over way too many people. Oh, that's a fancy full grab.
That's a take and a half. Jesus. Just a little bit of over-the-top. Yoink. This is mine now.
I mean, it was
show-stopping,
but I think it was
And
necessary.
that's the Jam that we were used to yesterday, trying his best to put his team in a difficult situation.
And succeeding most of the time. At least that wasn't a scuba to nobody that falls out of his hand immediately.
You'd think he hadn't bribed you.
Well, I still speak very highly of his team, and I have a lot of faith in him to improve. Look at that defense by him, shutting down the dump. They're forced to look upfield for the entirety of the stall count.
Jaeger puts it downfield. It's going to float a little bit. Oh, nicely hopped in.
Very nicely done. That looked very cool. I'm going to be honest. That looked very cool.
I think the thrower's happy about that because he was in a various state of disrepair last night, having the discussion of what's the largest animal you think you could take in the octagon.
No.
He reckons he could take down a cow.
No way.
No, I agree.
That is spoken like a man who has never been in a field with a cow.
Right, I think I could, like, you know,
a cow would mess you up and it wouldn't even notice.
Sheep apparently are very slippery.
Sheep mess you up too.
Yeah, you know what? I think I could.
Sheep would bite your Johnson off.
I think I could take down a capybara.
You could not.
I think I could take it down and enjoy it.
I think you would try and you would gas out before the capybara would be tired. Like, capybaras beat alligators in fights.
Really?
They don't fight them. The alligator comes to them, the capybara is just able to duck and weave. Capybaras are like the Floyd Mayweather of the animal-human UFC hypothetical.
And to be fair, like, capybaras have won 20 more Grand Slams than I have. Have you not seen this thing about Rafa Nadal looks like a capybara?
I have not.
Oh, there's a website devoted to it. He does. He really does.
I gotta tell you, capybara is a pretty amazing animal.
They're just like big guinea pigs. Great, I love them.
They're so chill, unlike guinea pigs, because I don't care for guinea pigs.
You are wrong. Guinea pigs are they're beautiful, fluffy potatoes.
They eat each other, don't they?
No, mine didn't. Is anyone going to mark the handler?
I don't think that's necessary. Seems like an overreaction to me.
I mean, you don't need to, but I just wonder if they will.
Goldilocks sets it up. We know he can take shots. But he goes for the easy under, and another pick. That's going to happen more and more as the games start to be more and more serious, you think?
Also, as kind of people, they're not going to be as disciplined as they were at the start of the weekend about keeping the structure, and it's getting a little bit wibbly wobbly.
A lot of banana cuts, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. That one from Goldilocks is just right. You knew it was coming at some point.
It's already come and gone several times, and it'll be back later, I'm sure. Just like Exeter, if they can keep up this great play and go 4-1 up on Surrey.
They're 3-1 down.
They're 3-1 down. I mean, Surrey can keep up this great play. There's a great point back by Exeter to go 3-2.
Hey, it's a close game, keeping it close.
Keeping it close.
Just when you think maybe, hello, are we going to pull away? They get back in it. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
It's kind of their way. They had to do that against Shakedown twice and then ultimately lost. But
which I appreciated because it won me a beer.
Yes, that's true. Got you some delicious thirst-quenching butt-cum. And who doesn't love butt-cum?
Well, evidently, nobody here because they sold out of it by about halfway through the US Open final.
Big US Open final. We've already talked about it, but that was very impressive. First qualifier to ever win a Grand Slam, like ever, is so impressive.
I don't know if we'll ever see anything like it again.
I think we will with these kids, the way kids are going.
The thing is, though, like the fact to do it as a qualifier, there are a lot of good young players. She's the youngest player to win a Grand Slam since
Venus, right?
Maria Sharapova in Wimbledon back in 2004.
Oh, okay.
But Maria Sharapova was not a qualifier. Like a lot of these young kids, they've played enough tennis so that they're given wild cards or they're just in the draw to actually come through qualifying. No one took a set off her. In the second round of qualifying, she lost 5 games in one of the sets. And that's it. That's the closest she came. Crazy dominant.
Nobody took a set off her?
Nope. And in the tournament itself, she never won a set by less than 6-4.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. It is just unheard of.
Yeah, okay. You probably never see that again. Nobody took a set off her. We'll get back to the Open. But that is, wow, very impressive.
It definitely delayed the main party last night because I had it on the big screen on the projector in the bar and it was absolutely rammed. And every time we went to juice, we tried to get a shot of juice going. I think tennis would be much better if it was more like a darts crowd. Like everyone turning up in fancy dress, like they play a bit of like Chase the Sun. They kind of do
Chase that disc all the way to the end zone, and the Surrey Scorpions looking to score again.
Putting the score in Scorpions, perhaps. Oh, faked the little dish off. Didn't like it.
Takes the second bite.
Going backwards. Simple. Bit of cluttered in the end zone. Trying and isolating the reset. Oh, a little high release flick over the top into the space.
I like the spice.
Cheeky. But it is congested in the tight space. More fancy footwork, though, from the Scorpions, and they restore their 2-point advantage. It's 4-2 in their favour.
I've seen a lot of really impressive footwork throughout this weekend. From a range of players. Up and down the seeding, just working to get to that front corner first and just really well-timed, lifting it up and scoring. I think it speaks to the veteran level of play that happens across this board. And I mean that both in the negative and the positive. Like veteran level play, not the most athletic, and maybe some of the throws are a bit off.
But the good field sense, I think, is something that you can clearly see. Like players, they're very conscious generally of where the sideline is, where the end zone line is. So you're getting perhaps these more exaggerated totals than you're used to. So you're catching goals that actually don't even cross the goal line, so to speak, because you can just kind of stand at the front and be like, whoop. Does that get the point across a little? Whoop.
I think it's very understandable to the people at home.
It's
a universal term.
Whoop. Whoop. Whoop.
And here comes Exeter, looking to fire back, and that's a nice follow through as the defense takes its time getting down to him. There's still, you got to keep attacking. If he's going to step off you that much, don't give up like that. Big hammer, contested, very effectively. That number 12 for the Surrey Scorpions is in peak physical condition.
He's been throwing himself around a little bit, hasn't he? I'd love to see it.
He is straining that shirt as well.
And he's, you know, like he's been giving up maybe a couple of inches in that matchup, but he just went up and attacked it earlier.
Launched himself, I think, is the big difference. He really attacked it.
Oh, he's got 12 on his shorts and 80 on his back.
92.
Sure, why not?
That was some nice elevation.
Just popped up and he's going to lash it deep. Receiver's got the size matchup. Can he body out? Defender has to go up nice and early, out of position. Makes the grab, and that is another break for the Scorpions. 3 points in the lead. It is now 5-2 to the Surrey team.
Scorpions showing off. They have talent, they've got ability, and there's a reason they topped their pool. That was a lovely setup, well worked, targeting a mismatch as well. So it had all the elements. The execution was there, the timing was there, and the strategy. That's 3 key points that can help you win a title.
Got the trifecta. Sorry, I'm very nearly done eating, everyone. Give me 10 seconds.
Probably the less time you spend talking, the more time you spend eating. It is necessary, and it is glorious here in Glasto this wonderful Sunday morning. We're bringing you a quarterfinal action between the Surrey Scorpions and Exeter.
I mean, this is your part of the world now, Lorcan, you know.
It is. This is the Southwest, and it's not bad. It's not bad. God's own country, as Jacob Rees-Mogg said. And it's the only thing he's ever said that I think was true.
I mean, I disagree with it.
It's tough. Yeah, he's technically my representative, which is annoying.
It's like that Onion article, heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a good point.
Ted Cruz.
Oh, just out of reach.
That's a little bit heartbreaking.
Those are the sort of shots that they were connecting with yesterday.
Yep.
And so maybe, you know, first game of the day, you haven't quite found that range yet.
Perhaps.
Also, first game of the day being the 11 o'clock. It's not bad.
Not a bad deal in life, is it? That's a nice smooth around as they continue to work it calmly and patiently.
And then just going to squeeze that one down the far sideline. Little arms aloft in the air.
Really good score.
And again, the fact that you're doing it in half of a party costume, I respect that. I A, respect the bit, and B, it shows that you put enough of an effort at the party in last night that you couldn't be bothered to change into real kit.
And isn't that what Glastonbury is all about?
To be honest, there's not enough people playing in party costumes. Like the entire team that went as Ants and Ant-Man and the Wasp,
which was amazing.
Like Ant-Man was an actual Ant-Man, was Ant-Man, and the Wasp was a Wasp. Like if they're not playing in their Ant costumes today, they think they've let the side down. To be honest,
which would be really disappointing after they really lifted the side up last night.
TD Ed has walked over to us. Anything exciting, Ed?
I'd say that if there was a fancy dress prize, the Ants and Bees
Ants would have won Ants would have won the fancy dress prize. Yeah.
Ed. Oh, well, that's surprising.
Well, there is a party prize, but
oh, okay.
Does that factor into the party prize? I think you probably have to say that it does a little
Bristol
bit.
going 4 of 6 on
the
extracurriculars.
Stones.
That's got to stand to them. Ed, do you know what happened in the shakedown quarterfinal? Could you find out? As here come Exeter.
He's bricking it. He's
bricking it. That's not nice to say about him.
He's bricking it.
You might be affecting his confidence now.
He's walking it to the bricking it mark.
And he's bricked it.
Yeah, what a brick. What a brick.
Just a big swinging brick.
Goes back to jam. Always a dicey move. Oh, there you go. See, didn't notice the poach coming in. Didn't quite get the spacing right as they squeezed the camel through the eye of the camel there. And a high release back and into the end zone. Wow, Surrey are pulling away with it now, 7-2.
And doing it so smoothly. They know exactly where the next cut is coming from, and they're feeding that disc to it so consistently. Really well experienced, really well drilled team.
And just heads-up defense, because that defender there, the stack's set up in such a way that it's relatively close to the open side that they're trying to attack. So they're sitting on that open side, and then you can easily have that defender just take a couple of steps into that lane and snaffle the disc away. I don't know what happened to my voice. Yes.
I think it's what happens if you use words like snaffle. You automatically start talking like a cartoon character.
Yes. Why do you speak like that? I'm not doing the thing.
You're only going to do half of it?
Yeah, my voice is just struggling, as you might hear. It's not as bad as it was as Nationals, thankfully, because that was a disaster. I mean, I've waited 2 years to commentate on Frisbee again, and halfway through the second game, I'm already shot. Well done, Benj.
That happened to a lot of people at Nationals as well on the pitch.
Oh, hey!
That's unfortunate. That was
Brick,
a
brick,
very
brick,
nice
brick, brick,
pull.
brick, 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 brick,
Brick, brick,
brick,
brick,
brick, brick, brick, brick. A lot of bricks going on. Ah, vitamin C. Gotta love it.
It will keep you alive and help stave off the scurvy if you're ever going on long boat trips.
That is why you put. That's why they put lemon and lime in gin and tonic
Amazing.
to help sailors keep off scurvy. It's why they like. It's why gin and tonic. The reason why gin and tonic is done because obviously tonic's high in quinine or just a little bit behind, and that helps stave off malaria.
I forgot about quinine, like as a thing, and how it can be really good for you if you're dealing with a hangover and stuff.
Yep. So there you are. It was like the drink was formed to be a health boon. In many ways, it was the first superfood of gin and tonic. Fakes the low inside, fakes the around, a little shake and bake, gets the handler free, and then that defender sitting in, trying to cause a little bit of problem with the dump, so they go over the top. That's a little bit of creative thinking. And they try and squeeze it down the line in the front of the end zone. No, not quite. Didn't have the presence of mind maybe to jump it in, or maybe just trying to do the thing of, I'm just going to make sure I make the catch. I don't care about necessarily being in the end zone. But the still count rises, hammer over the top. And Goldilocks locks the door.
Nobody's getting into that house to steal any porridge, as now Exeter have the opportunity to come back and close this gap before the half.
Big arcing backhand across the pitch. Half second too late. And really nice snag with the trailing edge, actually.
Very
makes me uncomfortable, but going for that so he can make himself available to keep it in bounds. And now on the precipice of the end zone.
Very nice score from Ponytail, speeding through and just attacking right in front of the thrower.
Yeah.
Really great grab on that sideline that you were talking about there. Trailing edge and keeping the foot in. Tough to do, and if you do that, you can keep the momentum kind of going with you on that particular possession, whereas if you were to turn around and go with the opposite hand, you're probably going to fall out of bounds trying to catch it, and that's going to slow everything down.
Yeah.
So we're just getting confirmation of some of the other quarterfinal results. Shakedown, we're playing...
Bombay Bearsicle Cubs.
Is that the Warwick Bears veteran team?
It's a Bears team.
Bombay Bicycle Club.
Bombay Bearsicle Cubs.
Bombay Bearsicle Cubs.
They tried to fit in as many puns per pun as they could.
That's fairly impressive and gives me a lot of pride for Warwick, a place I lived right next to that university for 5 years of my life. But they've beaten Shakedown, which is a big W.
Big upset. I wonder if the fact that some maybe of the players who've been playing for Shakedown, they're also helped. They're mostly on Devon Masters, so perhaps they didn't have those players available. As that is picked off deep. Good defensive coverage there by Exeter City Ultimate. Oh, have our stickers disappeared? Oh, thank you. I was going to say, it made a very handy drinks coaster.
Oh, that's an unfortunate one, just bouncing off both hands.
Just going to check that the disc is okay. From the looks of it, they're just going to keep going match defense on the turn.
It's getting them turns, not quite at the clip they want, but it is getting them. It's just they've got a lot of work to do. They're going to have to flip a bit of a switch and step it up.
Faking the underneath pass. That one is free, but into the turf.
A little bit surprising because those are the kind of turnovers that the Scorpions weren't giving them earlier in the game, but if they're going to start creeping into their match now, this is exactly what Exeter needs. Along with that, some good hard running on some unders.
Down the line, Lays. No, I thought he was going to put the bid in and decided it was a touch too far. Oh no, the sun's gone in. I feel like a... Oh my God, it's bright without these on.
That is Benji taking off his sunglasses for the first time today. If anyone was wondering, lovely scuba.
Oh hello, that is a salacious little scuba, and nearly popped it back into his in the receiver's hands.
Really good defensive play. Couldn't quite get the catch on it, but just swiping it away because he knows if he taps it forward, it's going to one of those Scorpions. And there's the open cut to the break side, but too much zip on the throw.
And maybe a layout available, but
I don't know. It was always curving away from him. It
would have been a difficult play.
Would have to dive and kind of almost behind him into the side.
But you never know unless you do it.
That's true. And if you're going to do it right. Do it on stream.
Do it right. Right. Do it again.
Oh, did he get a bit of a tip on
The
that?
Insta-jack. Oh, it was in the hand. And it just somehow squirted through.
I like the quick pickup and play just before anyone can think too much about a possible strip goal. Although that did look more like a drop.
And
Big hammer.
Oh, look at that steepling hammer that comes down with snow on it.
I wanted to say it. I wanted to say that because I know that's one of your things.
Do you want to say it?
No, I was gonna try and get it out before you. I was like, if he doesn't say it this time, I'm 100% doing it. I wasn't gonna say the steepling thing. I was gonna say the coming down with snow.
I am generally very quick to get it out.
Yeah, scratches the stratosphere.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, I'm having that. It's good.
It's just good fun. It's just good fun coming up with these words.
Touching the troposphere.
Oh, that's not too bad. We're really going to start wearing thin on my knowledge of lower Earth orbit. Oscillating the ozone.
Well, the problem with that is that there's a massive hole in it already for the
Not that healed.
through. Oh, we fixed it now.
We didn't really fix it.
Oh, hooray!
It's like one of the few small W's we've got on the whole climate science thing.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, let the kids, I won't have worry about it. Fields it on the hop. Downfield. Thought about the deep cut. Pivots hard, comes under, and he goes at the second attempt. Or it was there. If the timing was right. Then now this one goes. It's going to float up, and I think that's going to invite some defenders in and snatches it over the top using that reach advantage. Oh, I hate that as a shorter player, when it just hangs up enough for someone tall to goon their way in, and you feel like, oh, I did my job.
I did everything I could. There's only so much I can block off with my body.
Right, I know. And actually, to be fair, like I've got a bit of beef now, so I can maybe
big beefy banter Benji Boomerang.
So I can maybe body people out a bit more than I could. There's just more to come round.
Oh, great coverage on the up the line cut, cutting in a little bit early, taking the acute angle away.
You hear the shouts of no hammer, so they know what perhaps they're looking for. High release backhand, that's a little bit fluttery, but Jam gets away with it.
He got it. It worked, as it does.
And that one's a little bit behind. Continuation into the end zone. Exeter City have come roaring back in this first half. They're only 2 points behind now. It is 7-5 to Surrey.
Right when they needed to as well. 7-2 the score was, remember. And if the Scorpions take that half, that game's over basically. But we know this Exeter doesn't give up until you ring the bell. And by ring the bell, I mean press down on the really loud car horn. Don't do it. Get your fingers away from that, Benji.
Ugh. So it's so satisfying to press, though, isn't it?
It is, but I don't like it being next to the person who presses it, because then you get the pain without the satisfaction.
Yeah, that's true. We could do it together, maybe.
No, you can do it. I'm going to hide. I think I've done enough damage to my eardrums.
What?
What?
Hey?
Huh? Hey, saying, Sally?
It's 11:30.
Woo!
There are 26.5 minutes left in this game.
Congratulations, everybody. We did it. 11:30, Sunday. September 12th? 13th, maybe?
12th.
12th. We did it, baby.
Bang.
Oh, Jam screaming from the sideline, giving the guidance, the inspiration to this young Exeter side. Youngish, anyway.
Just confirming that the force is backhand, so maybe they've got seen that they're trying to take away. But it is broken immaculately and just about past the bidding defender. Sneaks into the receiver's hands. Got the dump available, a little push pass. Didn't have a huge amount of revs on it, but it didn't need to.
Really good panic defense by Exeter, shutting down the options, getting back up after the bid.
Finding the poach beautifully there. Still got plenty of time to pick his options downfield. Continuing to go backwards, not really fussed about losing yards because you can hit any area of the pitch really with these slightly more compact spaces. Big backhand fake, taking the underneath. It rises a little bit, but catch is made without too much consternation.
So you imagine they're just going to keep swinging it and look to hit the front corner of... Oh, big hand block!
Tried to get that low pivot out, but just didn't get the balance right. And it's in the turf, and now Exeter City, well, if they put this in, they'd only be the 1 point down.
Benji Rees continuing to show his prowess with maths. Sorry,
Hey,
my mic keeps slipping away from my mouth.
It's important. Like, the number of people I see ask us what the score is like, you should know what the score is. You're the ones playing in the game. I've never understood how people don't know what the game situation is. Honestly, I don't get it.
It can happen. It can be very difficult to keep track of all the different things you have to keep track of. As Exeter City trying to get back on track with some nice tidy up the lines.
Fakes that one, and they do get the under at the second attempt. Surrey defense looking a little bit gassed here. Maybe an opportunity for a timeout. Oh, keeps it alive. Put enough little backspin and float on it to chase it down at the back of the end zone. 7-6 to Surrey. The comeback is on.
The comeback is on, and for anybody watching, that is the shot that you take into the end zone when you're in that situation. You go low and you sit it up so that it'll float. The amount of times it's so hard to see people get the timing wrong when it's just a lateral cut straight across. It's much harder to defend a deeper cut towards the back corner in that situation if you have a thrower good enough to put that kind of float on it.
And that's what you kind of look for in those situations, is rather than try and rifle it through the end zone, you've got the spin, so if they miss it, it's just going to sit there for a second attempt and not go out of reach.
I think a lot of the times, if you can put that spin on, you can even try and initiate cutters by doing that. Like you've been saying, attacking that break side, you instantly have a bit of the advantage there. And if you can put some sit on it, you can lock eyes with the cutter, go for the throw, make it sit, and they've just got the time to run on and collect it without worrying too much.
As a handler, that's one of my favourite throws. If the front of the stack isn't, there's not someone lurking to potentially pick up that break side pass, just float it up into that break side space, let the front of the stack attack it, and get on the move.
So now the Scorpions hoping to stamp out this resurrection by Exeter. Lovely scuba over the top. So much confidence out of this
and
80.
It's just the touch on it. You know, it wasn't lazy. It was just kind of a little bit of air underneath it, a bit of touch on it, softly catchy scuba-y, I guess.
Really great matchup going on between 25 Exeter and 80 for Surrey.
Going to run all day. Stack looking a little bit static. So they're happy. This is what you need to do. If you're not seeing stuff downfield, just patiently take the resets available. Nice up line cut. Deep option goes. It is pump faked. Another up line comes. They're keeping it on this near sideline.
It seems like the force is really focused on not letting that around back onto the pitch. So these handler markers have got to stop getting beaten up the line. They're really forcing the side.
But
that's just a great break.
Really nice. Using that high release backhand, but it kept it flat, found that narrow channel, held its edge really nicely.
So you can see they're trying to shepherd them towards the sideline and then trap them there.
Puts the fake, and there's a receiver on the floor.
Brilliant
Injury,
break
perhaps.
again to get that around off.
Not sure if they just kind of clipped heels.
Maybe they should try clicking them. They're trying to find a way home.
There's no place like home. Never actually seen it.
Oh, really? It's a good movie.
Activates the
that's
handler,
great
shake
active
and
forcing.
bake. I'll tell you what as well, if it's stuck with the up the line cut a little bit longer, it was there, but you understand, you know what, looked enough time of it, try and get the reset off instead.
This is great work by Surrey, not falling victim
And good
to impertinence. They're taking their time.
And good work Bester as well to force Surrey to continually make these passes and to try their patience.
Lovely swing, and then they get the yards on the opposite side.
Probably 5 yards outside of the end zone now, isolating the reset. Oh, it's a little bit clustered there, but they do eventually get it off.
It's a good poach, but can they take advantage of it? They've given them time to recover.
And that's where a break side cut needs to come.
Oh, and here it is, but a bit too late.
It's just the timing is a little bit off.
It's just a little bit slowed, I think, and that's great timing. Made the cut instantly, but there wasn't a follow-up.
Right on the end zone, and there's a pick.
So now this is the moment where more experienced teams, they're going to know that that up-the-line cut is coming. So the first defender to do it is going to hang around a little bit and poach, and that so often leaves a quick scoop back in or a swing all the way to the opposite sideline available. And there it is, the quick scoop back in.
Beautiful, beautiful way to bounce to the sideline, cut back inside, and threading the needle there through the eye of the camel. And that is 8-6 to Surrey, and that is halftime.
What a comeback by Exeter. By no means out of this game. That was brilliant play by Surrey, showing what they can do when they are really, really pushed. And that's keep their heads together and work it down. Exeter have had their chances, and they'll have many more in the second half.
I'm sure they will. Both players are going to take a little break to get some water on. We'll do the same. Don't go anywhere. We will rejoin you on commentary in a couple of minutes. How's your breakfast?
Good. Well, this is cold.
Yeah. How's the coffee?
Alright.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Flagging.
A little bit. A little bit. Thank goodness there's a break today.
Yeah, we would really struggle without it, I think. Not a sister?
Gender not binary. But he came out like a year or two ago.
Good for them.
It is very good for them, thank you. But I respect you. That's it. But you know, it's just one of those things working out of your language.
Yeah,
they were
it's
my
still
sister for like 23 years.
It does take some time to adjust. I mean, most people I find is that if it's in good faith and you try and learn and you try and correct yourself and things like that.
We come up with a bunch of things. Like I call them comrade.
Yeah.
Because they don't have like a title. They're like, oh, any pronouns and stuff. It's like comrade.
Comrade.
Comrade's the perfect pronoun. It literally means you are my complete equal.
You know, it's what we use for the global LTV comrades, because we weren't allowed to keep the global. Well, we probably could have kept the global LTV cunts, but.
Crushing it, Ant.
Is everything going? I assume everything's going out okay today.
Yeah, we were getting like this weird audio glitch in the first couple of games, but I think it's fixed. I can't hear it on my phone. It's beautiful. It was like digital interference, just every now and again.
Oh, right, yeah.
It would like beep.
Well, we've got a game off next week.
But I need to contact my tech.
Yeah, me too.
I have to leave like ASAP.
I mean-
Our poor pups will be stranded.
I think we're all in that situation. We want to get away as quick as possible. So, speedy pack down. All right, should we rock and roll?
Put it back on.
Yeah. Welcome back to Ulti TV's coverage of Glastonbury Tournament 2021. Joining us for quarter-final action between Surrey Scorpions in the white and Exeter City Ultimate in the black.
What's up, my party people and my hometown nerds? Let's get ready to rumble as we come back into the final half in the first half of the second day at Glastonbury 2021. Let's do it. You're in here with Beantown and the Fuzz. Sorry, I just tried to do some radio stuff to jazz myself up. This is going to be an exciting half of Ultimate as Exeter tried to do what we've seen them do
that coffee?
recently. Don't you worry about it. It's what I Colombianed up my coffee. So Exeter are fighting, as we've seen them do many times on this show pitch before.
But not literally.
Not literally, in a figurative sense.
Yes.
And that is in the literal use of figurative, not the figurative use of literal, which is a lot of people do, and that's very annoying.
That is annoying, I agree. I just realised I've got this annoying bite on my leg and I keep trying to scratch it.
Well, that's what Exeter are going to try and do here. Be that annoying bite on Surrey and scratch them out of this tournament.
The itch that they just can't quite get rid of. Reset back to Jam. Dangerous with the disc in his hands, but for who? I shall let you decide. Fakes the hammer, instead works underneath. Ooh, I thought maybe he's going to lose his footing, but he stayed upright. Toes it in on the sideline. Looking around for options, thinking about the hammer. Oh, I think a fast count called. Don't see that called very often.
You do not, and it could be called basically every time as well.
Correct.
Come correct like a porn star, in the words of Lupe Fiasco. That was a fantastically run offense by Exeter City.
Beautifully clean, and yeah, with the stall count again, just have the presence of mind to notice that marking infraction and being like, you know what, I'm not having this.
How often do people straddle? How often do they wrap? How often do they fast count? Especially when things get intense.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Disc space, you could call almost all of it.
So we timed, I think it was 2015, under 24s in 2015. We timed how fast the average stall count was, and it was about 7 seconds.
I've heard that before as well.
We also timed an uncontested stall out at 4 seconds.
It just shows you how perception rules the world.
And I think it's one of those things where you feel, maybe they felt like, even if they knew it was a fast count, if you haven't been calling that the rest of the game, and if you are also definitely fast counting, you feel like a bit of a muppet for trying to sneak it past. Although we've got some goodies arrived on our table.
We'll have to clear a little bit of space as the prizes for this wonderful tournament are rolled out. And that disc rolled into the hands of the Scorpions, 8-7 up.
So we have
a tasty scuba. Well, it wasn't too tasty. It was a little bit of a slop, but it gets over the top, and that's all that matters.
Hey, sometimes he doesn't need to be, you know, a 3 Michelin star scuba. Sometimes you just want a greasy spoon scuba, and it does the job very well.
Greasy scuba.
Oh yeah, I quite like that actually. I'm going to keep that. Going to keep that in the arsenal, both in playing and in commentating. Nice round break there. Just sits it up, so it's comfortable to jog onto. And working just down the open side. Might have to toe it in here. Does so superbly. That'll be 9-7 to Surrey. Look at these prizes. We've got the little trophy, which is adorable. We've got the plate for 9th, the bowl for 17th, and the circlet for 25th. And this big old helmet. Hang on, you can't really hear it. It's a big old like metal armor helmet. That is the Spirit prize.
Is that what this is? You get to take this home?
You get to keep it.
That's amazing.
It's not even like you have to bring it back every year. Ed just finds a new one on eBay.
Now, is Ed subtly trying to get people to rebuild the Knights Templar or something?
Do you want to put it on?
Taken apart as apostates? I will put it on.
You better win Spirit now. How does it feel? Is it a good fit?
No, it's slightly too high.
Slightly too high.
Like, you see this?
Doesn't sound like you.
It's got this thing here, so I suppose I'd have to loosen this a little or something.
I'll be honest. Given that you're not going to win the Spirit Award, I'm not sure it's necessarily that important. You're going to try and commentate with it on. I think he might do it, you know. Here's the Exeter offense. Squeezes that inside breakthrough. Now looking back into the backfield, Jam sits one out into space. Running the handler weave there nicely. Towards the far sideline. Looking downfield, brilliant layout block. Did you see that?
Fantastic stuff, crusading down the pitch and getting that block. Can anybody hear me through this mask?
Any more of...
That was a pretty good pun.
It was all right. 6 out of 10 maybe. B minus. Must try harder. Using the full width of the pitch, keeps the toe in. Nope, not having that. Take it off. Take it off. Take it off. There we go. Swings into the centre of the park. Now using that backhand break, a little bit of throw and go. Finds the option through. Oh, I thought the scuba to the break side was on. Instead, maybe thinking about the underneath pass. Not there. Turns, finds another one coming through.
And there's a lion-hearted shot.
Oh, beautifully done from Surrey. Their first break of the second half. They have restored a 3-point lead at 10-7. I'll tell you what, it was asking for someone to find a way to access that deep break side space. That blade was a masterful way of doing the job.
I saw the cut, and I thought that's going to be a hard throw to make, and then they do it as if it's nothing. A break side shot sits absolutely perfectly. When you throw that kind of a blade on, it can be hard to time, especially when the cutter isn't going full tilt. But it's so well weighted, so much spin, so it even had a hang at that angle, which is incredibly difficult to do.
I mean, the thing with Exeter is you hear the sideline saying they've been down in games before and they fought back to either come back and win or just keep it close enough to be an issue. Just under 10 minutes left in this game, there is time enough to do it, especially because in Ultimate, you always need to score that final point.
They need to snap off a run sharpish, though. So we can see what this offense does. A smooth hold will go a long way to settling those nerves.
Be a very big
Give
confidence, very big confidence booster, you'd have thought.
I think what they need to do. Oh,
hello.
nice.
Knifey, bladey pull, often difficult to field on the roll, but dealt with immaculately there.
Really well handled.
A little bit of give go. I tell you what, he stole some yards there because he lost his footing a little bit.
Not the worst. Nice recovery back into the middle of the pitch. Smart use of the poach space.
Oh, and the disc is thrown behind. If Surrey could put this one in, you might feel that 4 points this late in the game might be too large a margin, or too large a margin, depending on which way you prefer.
It is a sizable margin indeed.
And that one is going to go deep. 1v1, the hat comes off, and the winner is nobody at all.
Gravity beats us all.
What he should have done was thrown the hat on the ground harder, so that gave him a bit more momentum going forward.
I prefer to just flip off, whereas they're running. The hand knocks the top of the visor and you keep going.
What you should have done was to make your hands into blades, so you cut through the air and run faster technique.
That does make the most sense. I mean, if it works in swimming, surely it works in running too.
Exactly. If anything, it should work better in running because air is easier to cut through than water.
Right.
Science. Jam looking for an option downfield. Finds an undercut that he likes. Fakes, pivots back.
That's a nice big undercut. But the clearing could be a bit better. They don't have a whole lot of space on that sideline.
It was too tempting not to take. They get a poach sitting in the lane. Can they capitalize and find the free player? Not quite. In the backfield, and the defender catches up, and they're trapped on that far sideline now. Trying to find an option downfield, cuts. Oh, there's the hammer available to the far side, but I don't think they like it. Getting a little bit of tippy toes to stay in the field of play. Goes underneath the jam. He looks for an option, and there's going to be a brief stoppage there as people get the guns out to demonstrate there's been a pick.
Oh, yeah.
Chance for everyone to get the breath back.
The muscle show off. That indicates that somebody ran into somebody illegally.
Mm-hmm. So what happens when you mark one-on-one? You cause picks.
It's a big chance here for Exeter to keep up the pressure. They've been somewhat jammed on this sideline.
Nice high release over the mark. Gets the reset free.
Lovely cut. Now, this next shot. And he's had to float it up. Dangerous. That shouldn't have worked, but it did.
I feel like if the Surrey defenders see that a bit earlier, they can probably snap that away. But as it is, they didn't see it until it was already past them. And Exeter City, as you mentioned, they're keeping touch in this game. 8-10 they trail.
Some big plays could be on the way for them to fight their way back into it. They've already shown us they have the capability. 7-2 down, snapping off that run to get it back to 7-6 before Surrey held to take half 8-6. So that's a big run, 5 points. They don't even need that much to get into lead of this game.
I tell you what, I've been absolutely ravished by insects.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm having a pretty good time.
I'm finding all sorts of bites.
Although, I just said that out loud, so I'm probably tempting Beelzebub or whatever the insect god is called.
Is there an insect god?
There's an insect-based devil. I can't remember which one he is, though. Mephisto? I can't remember.
Yeah, why not? So that pull bounces, fielded on the one bounce. And touch, I know it's a bit too far. Stuck out the paw, but didn't come in. And Exeter with a break here from a short field. Immediate red zone opportunity. They'd only be the 1 point down.
This is a big chance. You want to talk about seizing moments and taking control of short spans during the game, these little runs that can define ultimate games. This is one of those chances. Goldilocks throws it back, gets it again. They're going for a bit of a handler weave. It's working to an extent, but you'd like to see a bit more action downfield, and you'd like to see it a bit more closer to the middle.
Still count rises. Defender commits to stopping that up the line pass, and then now they pass off that switch masterfully. Here's the under. Thinks about faking towards this near side. There's no one available. Points for the hammer towards the far side. Still count rises. Just jams it into the end zone. But I think there's going to be a call.
That was a very impressive catch. He's saying there was a foul as he ran through his front shoulder. I would say you didn't want that disc enough, but yeah, that's a legitimate foul call. Like you're right by the rule of law, but by spirit of the game, you're wrong.
Do you know what they should do? Do you know what they should do, in my opinion?
Send it back?
Contest it, send it back, do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Well, we'll see. We've already seen them be punished for not doing it again earlier on that deep shot.
Why don't people listen to us, Lorcan? We are never wrong.
I know. It's one of those things where if you talk publicly as much as we do, it's very hard to hide the fact you're a moron.
What's that phrase? You know, better to have people think you a moron than to open your mouth and confirm it.
Exactly. Like, there is little to no doubt about our intelligence levels.
Moronicness?
You're making it worse.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the noun...
Moronus?
All right, so it's back. Glasto rules, do it again, maybe, please.
Glasto rules, do it again.
Checked in 6,
no,
7.
He goes with the higher release dump instead.
Well, we've seen how this tends to work out.
Disc. Don't lie. Do lie. Don't lie.
Don't lie. It's always not. It's never the first pass. It's always the pass.
Always the second one. Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe we were right. No, we should have done it again.
Give that bad juju to the next player and let them have the negative stats. It's very cruel.
But
I like that energy coming out of Exeter. Trying to find it again. 8-10. This is our last quarterfinal game of the day.
Still got a little bit of a cushion to play with, sorry, but you don't want to have it going too much longer. Oh, this is spicy. This is very spicy, but the defender got position nice and early. In the end, the receiver did not even put a bid in because they knew they were well beaten, and he thought about the jack, but it goes back in the Zool box. And lovely bit of dribbling it down the field, bouncing it around, keeping that stall count nice and low. Finds the option there. Fakes downfield. This one, just now they're slowing it down a little bit as they get closer to the end zone and space is perhaps a bit more at a premium. Fakes the scooper and swings into the center instead. And then finds the option on the break side. Nice high take. Exeter trail by just the one.
That boy's got magnets for his hands and gets the double joy. He got that first catch on the foul call, which was, in fairness, a legitimate foul call. Although, you know, not what we really want to see because that's what we're here for, is the entertaining plays. But he's able to come back and get another not easy catch to secure it and close that gap down to 1. 9-10. And once again, Exeter punching above their weight and surprising their opponents a little bit. So we'll see what Surrey respond with. They don't have the deepest line.
So maybe, especially if you've represented at the party, he's got a bit more fatigue in those legs.
And even if you do have 6 of them, they can get tired.
Just under a minute 30 left before I get to press the hooter.
Woo!
The hooter.
Benji's favorite part of his day.
Genuinely is. I love it. I feel so powerful. Dance, my puppets.
So much authority.
Yes. So much better than just doing air horn hands instead.
Maybach music.
So sorry, we'll try and sneak this one in before the to give themselves a bit more of a cushion.
Exeter are going to hope they can delay them long enough.
Oh, there's been a stoppage. I wonder what that's for.
I'm going to say somebody noticed a 4-leaf clover and they want a chance to pick it up and make a wish before the play continues.
I wasn't listening. You said the word pick in there, right?
Yeah, no, it was a pick.
Yeah. Good. Swinging it around the back. Staying patient for now. How long can they keep it up? Nice break into the centre. Cutter takes off deep, but the force pivots around across enough to put it off and through the middle to no one. Exeter now will have the disc with a chance to level it for the first time since the first point.
I genuinely think if they knew how much time was left, Jam would take another 10 seconds before picking that disc up. Now here it comes. Benji's getting into position.
Oh, you're right there, Lorcan.
Yes, I'm fine. I just tripped up over my own wire. Finish the point and add one. Potential for this to go straight to Universe.
Swinging into the centre of the pitch. Now wonder if the intensity ramps up now that they know that the end of the game is so close. They can maybe expend that more knowing how longer the game is left. They can really exit the tank. Oh, just in the turf. Maybe rush the throw a little bit. Trying to get that throw and go a bit too quickly. And too much go and not enough throw, and he takes the time out.
Recognizing the situation they're in. That they'll be... Oh!
Ed's the person to ask.
This is one of those tournaments where you just go, what's the rule? I don't know, what's the rule, Ed? And Ed will just tell you on that moment. Because he definitely knows. Right? Somewhere. I probably doesn't.
Maybe on the Saturday when like the games are quicker, maybe you can't call timeouts in the cap, and maybe you can today when it's 15 minutes and not 10.
That is true. We are able to just take a little bit of a break, and we will be taking a break from streaming. The next game scheduled will be after an hour and 15 minutes after the next slot. So that
yeah,
will
we
be
need a little bit of a break. So the next game starts here at 12:15. We will be back live at 1:30,
and that will be with the first semi-final. And then we will show you the plate final and then the all-over final. All over?
The tournament final.
The tournament final, yeah.
Winning this glorious little Glastonbury tournament trophy. So isn't it cute?
It's very cute.
Have you ever been up the tour?
I have not. I've never been to this part of Glastonbury.
I mean, I've never been up there either. And this is what, the fifth time I've been?
I do hear about it a lot. Like when I go on Twitter and look at like local tweets, it's always somebody's gone up the tour that morning and is telling me how beautiful the world looks, and I have to be thankful for it.
Disgusting.
I mean, they're not wrong. Still disgusting.
Exactly. I mean, just because you're right doesn't mean that I want to hear it.
Yeah, one of the most
Welcome to commentary. Like, just because that timeout might have been the right call doesn't mean that I want to see a timeout.
No, come on. More intensity, more sketchy. Oh. More intensity, more sketchy passes.
Timeouts are boring, just jam it. Oh,
Could also be a time over or a turnout,
I tell you what,
some people believe.
Turnout, it's definitely a turnout rather than a time over, because time over implies you run out of time.
I think so too.
Also, something else I would say is that I haven't seen any thumbers yet this game.
Excellent point, Benji. Your insight, as always, so cutting. That's clearly what we're missing.
If you win having not thrown a thumber, have you really won?
No, you haven't.
No.
As arbitrators of victory, no, you absolutely have not.
No, we will just, both teams will forfeit the game.
We'll kick you out, and we'll just bring Shakedown back. They'll throw thumbers.
Will they?
I mean, they will if we tell them to.
Fair enough.
Devon will throw thumbers. We know that. And they're in one of the semi-finals.
Get the Mexicans back on stream. They'll throw some. Trying to start the disc off the timeout. Get a reset available as now they try and get some motion going downfield towards the far sideline. Jaeger has it looking at the end zone, up on the mark.
And in classic important games starting to happen at party tournaments fashion, the calls are coming.
In the words of the disgraced philosopher Kelly, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I was like, in the words of the disgraced philosopher Kelly, and I was like, why? What did the milkshake girl get in trouble for?
Who?
Kellis.
Oh.
Because you meant R. Kelly.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That's a big score for the Scorpions.
It puts them up to 11-9, game to 12, as opposed to being in a 10-all immediate sudden death situation. There is a saying about good teams that good teams win it on defense. You get the break to win. You don't need to have your O put it in.
Yep.
We'll see if Surrey can do that here.
They're certainly going to be capable of it. as Exeter have scored few points without giving up a turn first. And right now, Surrey look to be being as clinical as possible. They gave Exeter that chance to tie it up and send it to Universe, and I don't think they're going to give them another one.
We shall see.
Really annoying that that song is now just playing over and over again in my head.
Which one?
Bump and Grind. And I can't sing it because obviously he's a terrible person.
Yeah, he is a terrible person.
I don't want to support that, but at the same time,
Allegedly, sorry.
Man,
allegedly.
right, allegedly he's a terrible person. Certainly he wrote some bangers, and you know, I won't listen to him. It's annoying.
This is
it's
the whole
same with Chris Brown.
Separate the art from the artist. How can you do it?
No,
and
there's no point.
It's funny that generally, like, people will forgive most things if the art is good enough.
Exeter City may be employing a ringer on this point.
Are they?
Maybe. Oh no, they don't have the. I thought they had one of the stones.
Well, that would have been a good use of it, but no. Gonna have to fight this the more traditional fashion layout bid. Oh, a split second too late. Held well under the pressure. Into the backfield, quick throw and go. Toss it, just with a little pop backhand. Sing it out into space, good snag there. Pivots on the near side, doesn't like the look of Tim. And a stoppage for something.
Probably
like
to discuss the cloud shapes and which ones remind them
maybe,
of their fathers.
Maybe a push-off foul on that handle.
Uncontested foul.
I don't know why I ever illustrate this because thankfully there's no cameras pointed on us.
And there never will be if we have our way.
Yeah, unfortunately, lots of places we have a commentary cam now, which is like, do you think that there is a reason why I'm very much behind the microphone and not in front of the camera? Pivot around. Trying to keep that momentum going forward, towing on the far sideline. Thought about the deep shot. Holsters it for now. And then we'll sit this up. Plenty of time, plenty of space. 10-11.
Great stuff out of Exeter. That was the kind of cool, properly run offense that they needed to do. Like every time they caught the disc, they were relaxed, they were calm, they were waiting for the opportunity. Every time they were moving for the disc, they were aggressive, they were intense, and they were fighting. And that is such a hard marriage to get right, and it's a blend you have to have at this late of a game if you want to pull off those 2-3 point comebacks.
So, Surrey will have 2 chances to win it on offense. We'll see if they can take the first of them here.
I have been calling Exeter City my dark horse team. Really impressed by them. A lot of love for them. Jam, great leader, great man, great briber. But I genuinely have had to make a call right now. We can't put beer on it because you have to drive. But so maybe we'll think of something else
future tournament
else,
for
I
Euros.
don't think it gets to a universe point. I think Surrey put it away here.
Do you know what? I agree with you, I think. But we shall see. That's why we play the games. Oh, tried to field the rolly ball, but it took a bounce they weren't expecting.
This is big. Because I would be expecting Surrey earlier in the game in this situation, maybe to just shoot it deep. But this time I think they're going to take their time, they're going to be patient, they're going to work it as much as they can.
Well, there's the first underpass. Fakes the give off to that handler running through. Can they find the window? Good reset. Isolates. Gets the space. Flick towards the break side. Thought about the bid. Doesn't come. Sitting out the flick to space. Can he tow it in the sideline? It's out of bounds.
In fairness, he tried very, very hard. And the way he was able to move his foot back to land in, really impressive.
It would have been spectacular had he made it stick, but he couldn't do
the greatest, maybe.
Perhaps that was the option.
But that's such a hard call to make.
At Exeter City, especially when there's defenders around you. And just discussing where it's going in.
The defender did get ever so slight of a tip, which played a very big role.
Oh, and just a drop on the underneath pass. That's going to sting. That's going to smart.
That could be it. I like that call. Be a goldfish. Forget about it. Focus on what's happening right now.
Goldfish actually have much better memories than people give them credit for. But
That
yes,
still doesn't make them have good memories.
and to the open side, that will do it for Surrey. The second time of asking, they put the point in, and they will take a spot in the semi-finals with a 12-10 victory. And Lorcan, I think they were pretty good value for it.
Fantastic performance out of Surrey. Always looked like they just had that slight edge where things would need to go well and Exeter would need to play above their station in order to get the win, whereas Surrey just had to do whatever it says on their tin, which is come in, play their game, hold it down, and stay true to it. And that's exactly what they did towards the end. Gave up a couple of points in the middle, part due to complacency, part due to Exeter really playing into the game. It was tough, it was close, a little bit heartbreaking towards the end after they get that turned down field. But great showing by Exeter, even better by Surrey. Congratulations, and we'll see them in the semi-final, just like we'll see everybody who's been watching these live streams in the semi-finals as well as we take a game off. And when are we coming back, Benj?
We will be coming back at 1:30 local time, so that is in an hour and 20 minutes. Do whatever you need to do. We're going to start getting all the tents packed away and doing all the boring stuff as well. I know, but I would like to get home.
To momentarily speak about some more exciting things, if you do have been enjoying the stream and you want to help support us, there's an amazing dog on the stream right now as an example. That's just some of the great quality content that we can bring you here at ulti.tv. So check out ulti.tv online to see what we're all about and how you can help us expand Ultimate even further.
Ulti.tv.